Hi, I'm Karen Carter, and I'm a distance learning student. I live in the panhandle of Florida, also known as the Emerald Coast. And yes, the picture shown here is where I live. You can see by the color of the water why they call it the Emerald Coast, and the sand on our beaches is as white as the snow in South Dakota. Today's main course is going to be a demonstration of the tool iScanner. iScanner detects and removes malicious code and web page malwares from a website. iScanner will not only show you the infected file, but it will also clean the files by removing the malware code only from the infected file. What is malware? Malware is short for malicious software, which is designed to disrupt computer operation, gather sensitive information, or gain unauthorized access to computer systems. In other words, it is designed to compromise the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of computer systems. The types of malicious code iScanner will detect are suspicious PHP codes, obfuscated JavaScript, hidden iframe tags, ActiveX objects, VB scripts, and some known malware types. iScanner uses its own customizable signature database to scan the web page. iScanner's current features include the ability to scan one file, directory, or remote web page at a time, which is a limitation of iScanner. However, I did discover it will scan more than one directory, and I found a tool that was created to work with iScanner. It will scan the entire website, and it generates a comprehensive report with the results. This tool will also be demonstrated. iScanner detects and removes website malwares and malicious code and web pages. It will generate a log file which shows the infected files and malicious code. It has support for sending email reports, the ability to clean infected web pages automatically, which needs to be used with caution. It has a simple and editable signature-based database. You can easily send malicious files to iScanner developers for analysis, and best of all, it's free. iSecurity is working on improving iScanner. For instance, extending the signature database to detect viruses and malicious files. They also want to create a standalone version that works on top of a JVM. They want to make it Windows compatible, and right now the log file that is generated is in the text format. They want to be able to export the log file into other formats such as XML and HTML. They also want to build a remote scanner service with an API. After watching this demonstration, if you have any ideas on different ways they can improve or add to the program, you can email them at this address. iScanner has been programmed by iSecurity using the Ruby programming language. I had never heard of Ruby until last semester when I did a presentation on Joe McRae's "You Spent All That Money and You Still Got Owned." It's from DEF CON 18 and it's very good. Joe swears by Ruby. Well, I got an introduction to it while learning this tool. To see if Ruby is installed on your system, type the command ruby-v. If it isn't installed, it can be obtained by any of the commands displayed. The version of Ruby installed for this demonstration is 1.9.2. Now on to installing iScanner. You will need to download iScanner from the iSecurity website. Select iScanner version 0.7 and save the file to your hard drive. The file downloaded is compressed into a tar archive file and will need to be extracted. To extract the tar file, type the following command. The file will decompress to an iScanner 0.7 directory, and it is from this directory you will install iScanner. iScanner does not require any external libraries, and you don't need to install the program to be able to use it, but an installer is included so you can install and uninstall iScanner when you want or need to. To install iScanner, run the following command, the installer-i. The default directory for iScanner is etc/iScanner. However, you can use the -d flag to specify what directory you would like to install it to. To uninstall iScanner, and I don't know why you would want to, run the following command. Now for a brief demo on the installation of iScanner. The first thing we need to do is check to see if Ruby is installed, and we do this by using the ruby-v command. And as you can see, it is, so we are good to go. Next, we need to download iScanner from the iSecurity website. We are going to download iScanner version 0.7 as it is the most recent. I'm going to save this file to my root directory. As you can see, the file was downloaded as a compressed file. To extract the file, type the following command. The files are decompressed into the iScanner -0.7 directory. The files required to run iScanner are in this directory. Remember though, you do not need to install iScanner in order for it to work. However, if you need to uninstall iScanner in a quick and clean manner, it is best to install it using the installer, which we are going to do. The default directory for iScanner is etc/iScanner. And as you can see, the files that we need to run iScanner are listed. Before I get into the actual demonstration of iScanner, I want to briefly explain what the program is doing to help create a clear picture. When iScanner is given a web page to scan, it creates a copy of the web page and gives it the name of url-time/date.html. It then scans the .html file using the signature database, which has the exploits and vulnerabilities in it. A log file is generated which captures the infection. The log file is named infected-time/date.log. So how does iScanner clean the web page? To clean a file, iScanner uses the .log file, which has the infected code in it, to clean the .html file. The command cleans the infection from the .html copy of the file iScanner created during the initial scan. It does not touch the original file. If the clean.html file is good, you can rename it to the original file and copy it to the directory it needs to go in. The signature database iScanner uses is customized from iSecurity. The most recent version is 0.2.0. It can be edited so you can add your own signatures to it. There are 4 parts to each entry in the database: the signature number, which should be unique for reporting purposes, the regular expression string, which is encapsulated in parentheses, a comment about the malicious code, and the last bullet tells the application how to scan. The last bullet will be covered in a little more detail on the next slide. If you need help with regular expressions, the URL displayed is a very good resource. Dr. Tu would be proud of how much I have learned about regular expressions during this project. The last bullet in the signature file tells the application how to scan. The first half states whether the regular expression is multi-line or just one line, and the second half states whether to use a scan in remote or local scans or just local scans only. In order to demonstrate the functionality of iScanner, I had to have an infected website. I am now a registered user on Offensive Computing, where you can download viruses and malware. However, I did not use any infections from that site. I did find a VB script which I used that appends .hello to all the files on your computer, and guess what? It works. Thank goodness there was a fix for it. Once I discovered I could create my own signature files to find vulnerabilities, I was golden. The first page created has a malicious VB script in it. It's my hello file. This button was added without the knowledge of the user and is begging to be clicked. Here is my malicious code. The second page has a hidden iframe, which will redirect me to a malicious website once this page is rendered in the browser. But we are pretending for this demo. I really don't want to be directed to a malicious website. And here is a malicious code. The third page has JavaScript. It could or could not be malicious, but iScanner will let you know it is there. And guess what? It is malicious. And the last page has obfuscated JavaScript. This code was added to the beginning of the HTML page without the user knowing it, and it has hidden malicious code in it. We will now see what iScanner can do. To scan a web page, you run the command iScanner -R to scan a remote web page, the URL, It is case sensitive, and I am going to run it in debug mode so you can see what is happening. Now you know what I mean about a busy screen. Let's take a look at what just happened. Here we see where the iframe.html file was copied to a URL /timestamp and date.html file. This is the one that iScanner scans. Here we see it going through the signature database, and sure enough, a hidden iframe tag is detected. We are asked to check the infected.log file for details. Here we see which signature detected the hidden iframe tag and the code that was found. Let's take a look at the .html file to see where this code is located. And here it is. We will now remove the malicious code from the web page using iScanner. To clean the infected file, you run the command iScanner -c, the name of the infected.log file, and even though the file that is going to be cleaned is the .html file, you tell it to clean using the infected.log file. iScanner lets us know the file has been cleaned, so we will now look to see if the malicious code has been removed. And it has. I am going to demonstrate the scanning and cleaning of one more malicious file without the narrative. The file I am going to scan is a password.php file that had the malicious obfuscated JavaScript injected into it. If you discover malicious code in one of your web pages and iScanner does not catch it, it is because it has not been added to the database. I am now going to show you how to add the signature to the database, and then you can scan the rest of your web pages to see if they were infected too. This is a signature file, and as you can see, each signature has the 4 different parts we talked about earlier. I am going to add an easy one, and that is where a dangerous word is detected. My dangerous word is hello. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this signature that has already been created. I need to change the signature file to a unique number, and then I'm going to change the shellcode dangerous word to hello. This is a one-line regular expression, and I am scanning from a remote location, so this is good. Gonna save it. Let's test our new entry in the signature database. I'm going to scan the hello.html file that has the malicious hello.vb script in it. And it appears it worked. iScanner will also allow you to scan a specific directory. This is where I discovered it also scans the subdirectories beneath it. To scan a directory, you use a -F option flag. And as you can see, it not only scanned the var/ww directory, it also scanned the beef subdirectory and the subdirectories underneath it. I would also like to point out the extensions that iScanner is looking for when it performs its scans. The default extensions are HTML, HTML, PHP, and JS. You can modify the iScanner file to add additional extensions, which we will do in a moment. The scan we just ran created an infected log file that contains all the malicious code and vulnerabilities that were just discovered. When scanning files on a website, iScanner is limited to a manual scan of each page, and it generates one log file for each scan. It would be nice if iScanner could crawl a website and find all the malicious code and vulnerabilities at one time and generate one report like it does for directories. Well, I just happened to find a program written to do exactly that. It is called iScan, and I will be demonstrating it in a few minutes. As promised, I'm going to show you where to modify the iScanner file to add the additional extensions to be scanned. I'm going to add the .exe and the .vbs extensions. If you want to scan for a specific extension, you use a -E option flag. I am going to scan for the two file extensions I just added. It looked like it found two files. The first file was one with the .exe extension, and the second file was with the .vbs extension. I am now going to show you a few of the additional commands iScanner has. However, these are not all inclusive. I've already demonstrated the lowercase -f, uppercase -R, and uppercase -D flags. iScanner loads the latest version of the signature database in the folder. However, if you want to use an older or modified version of the database, you use a lowercase -D flag, and I will now demonstrate this. We are going to scan the hello.html file using the older signature database, the 1.0. And as you can see, no malicious files were found because the signature I had added to version 2.0 is not in the older database. You can also run iScanner in quiet mode. This is done with the lowercase -q flag. Of course, you would have to view the latest log file generated to see if any malicious code was found. The last two flags I'm going to show you are the uppercase -u and the lowercase -u. These flags make sure your iScanner files are up to date. You can update iScanner and the signature database to the latest version with the uppercase -u flag. And as you can see, we are up to date. You can also just update the signature database file with the lowercase -u. And as you can see, it is up to date. This is a comprehensive list of all the options iScanner provides. These can be displayed with the iScanner-H command. iScanner also has a runtime error log that is generated if it has problems scanning a website. This can help in troubleshooting efforts. And as you can see, no files were scanned. So we're going to look at the runtime error log to see what happened. It's showing connection refused. And I can tell you right now, that's because my Apache service isn't started. Let's see what other error message we can generate. Once again, this file wasn't scanned. And the reason is because the file wasn't found, and that's because it starts with an uppercase H. If you have a large website, it can be a tedious task to scan each page individually, and then you still have to view each individual log file to see what was found. I discovered a program called iScan that will crawl the website and use iScanner to scan for vulnerabilities and malicious code. It still creates a copy of each web page scan, but this is done automatically. You're not having to go in and do it one at a time. And it generates one report with all the findings in it. I found iScan on the Digital Offensive website. The URL is displayed. iScan is also written in the Ruby programming language. You will need the Howler Ruby gem and any required dependencies installed, the modified version of HTMP, and iScan.sh. Detailed installation instructions are on the website. However, since updates to the Ruby library have been made, some tweaking needs to be done to get the program to run correctly. And how do I know this? Well, after several hours of trying to get the program to work, I broke down and left a comment on the website. I knew I was throwing myself out to the wolves by doing this because I have seen on several technical forums where the moderators tell you to pack sand if you remotely sound like you don't know what you are doing. Well, I don't know Ruby, so I didn't know what I was doing. However, I was pleasantly surprised. Mike, the creator of iScan, replied in a timely manner, offering me help. After several emails of going back and forth, I still couldn't get it to work, so I sent Mike my files. He recreated the problem and discovered the Ruby library had changed. Unfortunately, it isn't an on-the-fly fix. He gave me some changes I could make to the iScan.sh file, which would still allow me to show the functionality of iScan. Bold me, I asked him if he could make the changes since I didn't know Ruby. But I want you to know, I eventually made the changes myself and was able to get the program to run. I'm not going to go into detail on what I did, but I'm sure when Mike has the time he will update iScan to work with the new Ruby libraries. Now on to my demo of iScan. To run iScan, you type the following command. You enter the URL of the website to be scanned, how deep you would like to scan it, and sit back and watch. Note that it still generates the .html file. You will need the name of this file to match with the entry in the result file, which we will now look at. This file, in essence, are all the log files rolled into one. And you can see where it scanned all the HTML files and found the malicious code. Mike is working on formatting the results file into a more readable report file. iSecurity offered these tips and tricks on ways to improve your security posture using iScanner, which I thought were very useful. The first is to add iScanner to the cron jobs and have it scan your server every 24 hours and then have the infected logs emailed to you. And if you use iScan, you will only have one file sent by several. The second tip is to configure your FTP server to have iScanner scan all uploaded files by users and send an email alert if a malicious file has been detected. iSecurity also offers an open source command and control center called iCommander. iCommander lets you manage multiple servers from one place. The idea behind iCommander is to provide an easy and secure solution for system administrators, which allows them to control several servers from one place and at the same time. Like iScanner, iCommander is programmed by iSecurity using the Ruby programming language. This concludes my presentation of iScanner and its companion program iScan. I would like to thank Mike from Digital Offensive for all the help he gave me with the iScan program.